We have too much fun when we're off the camera. Brian and I have been chatting here for a few minutes and we finally looked at the clock and like, oh yeah, we should probably get started. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of League One on the Rocks. My name is Rich. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at I'm Rich, but I'm not. And there's the man who I just can't seem to have a short conversation with ever because we always have too much fun chatting. You can find him on Twitter at Mediocre Ace. Brian, how are you, man?
I am doing fantastic. Couple new not even a couple new. A new song dropped from a band that I'm really feeling right now, like 3 hours ago. So it's been pretty good. Pretty good. Hanging out. The kids are here, so if you hear any extra noise in the background that you're not used to is because my kids are still awake because it is summer and all kids deserve to stay up a little later in the summer. So
Totally agree. And last week, after we finished the episode, I got to see some of that chaos in the background, and that was a lot of fun. That was cool.
yeah, it's not just pre-show that we hang out and talk, it's also post-show. So
Yeah, we have a lot of fun each week. Uh, before we get into even what we're drinking tonight, Brian, tell us about your hat. I like that.
So yeah, this was like a promotion that Come and Go did a while ago, where if you went into any Come and Go and bought a Bush product, you would get a free hat. Um, so yeah, I mean it's a good hat. I didn't even know it has like a liner on the inside there for like sweat. That's pretty cool. But I like the old school hats, man. I like every old school hat that seems to have this braided cord in the middle, and I just really like that look. It doesn't fit my head very well, I think because it's been taken to the river one too many times and dunked in river water, but I, uh, I wore it for a special reason, which we'll find out here pretty soon.
All right, you beat me too, because I was going to say that looks like the perfect summer hat as well as like a lake or river hat.
Oh, yeah.
So you hit it right on the nose. I am wearing I this is a hat from Phantom Regiment. It's a drum corps that I marched in. This hat is more than 20 years old, and I mean, just looking at it, it looks like it's more than 20 years old. But yeah, they started move-ins, I think, a week ago or something like that, and I forgot to celebrate last week, so I'm celebrating this week. So that's my core, and they're doing move-ins right now, so it's exciting because that season is ramping up and all that stuff.
Heck yeah.
So yeah. Well, what are you drinking tonight?
That is the reason actually why I wore the hat today because we're jumping back onto the Bush Lights during the show train. Union Omaha's home games are going to start coming pretty quick and in rapid succession. So I figured I needed to start to build my tolerance up a little bit again because there's nothing worse than going to a match and feeling sick halfway through it.
No kidding. Well, I have just a little bit of Woodford Reserve left. Well, let's see if we can get that in the camera. Nope, it's not going to cooperate tonight. There we go. But I have a little bit left in the bottle here, so I'm going to finish that. And when I do finish that, I also have Four Roses ready to go. Can't really see the label there, but it's the small batch. Um, I was talking with a coworker today, and there we go. That was a deep one.
Beautiful.
Um, he was saying that he went to Kentucky recently and was doing some um, taste testing on the Bourbon Trail. And when he was going through all of his suggested drinks and everything, he was suggested Four Roses time and time again. So he decided to get it, but he didn't know which one to get. And they recommended the small batch.
Hmm.
And that was a great decision because the small batch is a good, solid drink.
Very nice. Still got to
Yeah.
give that one a shot. The small batch.
Yeah, that's a good one. I I'm excited to because I'm going to be making a trip to Louisville here later this year, and I'm so excited to go on the Bourbon Trail and like just try a bunch because it's going to have all those small distilleries all around there where you can
Hmm.
try all the different flavors and the different, I don't know, the different methods that they use. Because when you go to breweries, they all talk about, the process in which they made the beer.
Hmm.
And I want to get into like those tours, those kind of talks when it comes to the whiskey and the bourbon and all that. Oh, that's going to be
Oh
so
yeah,
much fun.
especially down there, man. I mean, they take it serious down there, and
Yeah.
it's one of those where like it doesn't necessarily matter what what it is, but listening to somebody who's super passionate about what they do at any point just is amazing. So I can only imagine that those trips are going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for that. And I can't wait to spend a pretty penny on all those different bottles I'm going to bring back too, because I'm not flying to Louisville, I'm driving, so I can load up the car with
There
how
you
much
go.
I want. Yeah.
And we all know you have the habit of not looking at price tags when you pick stuff up and take it out. So
You got me. Yeah, it's true. Yep.
it'll happen. Now we got Luke
Well,
Martin
look.
in the chat already saying, fun fact, Rich's hat was originally white 20 years ago.
Yep.
Those are the best
Look, I
hats,
gotta
man.
be honest with you, man. I'm surprised to see you in the live chat. That tonight is Carter Payne's Memorial Bowling fundraiser. I figured you'd
Hmm.
be at that event. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad you're here in the audience with us. I just thought you might be at the Tormenta event.
Well, they're an hour ahead, so it might be close to the end of it too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Ah, yeah, family responsibilities tonight.
Yep, that
Yep.
happens.
His article about the mascots and whether they wear pants or not was a hit.
No,
I saw it.
those are the feel good ones, man. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime you can get in and start talking about mascots for whatever reason, people go nuts for mascots. It is like, and it doesn't matter the age, like all the way 90 plus, all the way down to like 3, 4 years and below. I mean, mascots are just awesome and a very underrated part of sports, I think, because especially like when you bring kids to matches and stuff, when they get to see mascots, greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I had to go to, I didn't have to. I went to a elementary school with Hoot the Owl, and I was talking to the kids, hyping up Hoot and all that kind of stuff, and they kept asking questions, trying to see if Hoot was real. And I kept talking about how, this is Hoot the Owl and all that kind of stuff. And um they asked me if there's a man inside, and or they asked me some question along that line, and I said, "No, Hoot is Union Omaha's mascot." And as soon as I said that word, Hoot smacked me because I said the M word.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I learned my lesson. And even as I said, like even as the word was coming out of my mouth, I was thinking, "Oh shoot, I just screwed up."
Yep. It's all right. I mean, it's really hard to keep it up over a long period of time, trust me.
Yeah. And then this past weekend, we were at a parade, and it was the baseball team and the soccer team doing a joint appearance in the parade. And it was a pretty warm day, and the baseball mascot was sitting on the back of a truck and decided to try to cool off a little bit. So he came back to the Union Omaha van to try to climb in the back. Before he climbed into the van, he was messing with his the head to try to pull it off. And at that moment, there was a kid that was walking up and saying, "Stormy, Stormy, hi, how's it going?" And really, the guy in the suit didn't hear the kid and just pulled the head
Oh
off himself.
no.
And we were all like, "Oh no, we just ruined that kid's childhood."
I mean, anymore, I feel like kids' childhood it's ruined earlier and earlier. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't necessarily say it was their fault, but
yeah, that was a pretty funny moment. Well, look, we got a bunch of stuff happening. We got some league news that we're going to be sprinkling into some of our previews tonight. We just got done with Jaeger Cup matches. We have Week 14 League One action coming up this weekend. So there's a ton to talk about. So let's dive right in.
But
As far as the Jaeger Cup, we can kind of gloss over that, but I mean, there were 4 League One teams who had wins over championship sides. So that was pretty neat.
yeah, just came out and completely blew my argument from last week out of the water, saying that I didn't think League One teams were going to be that competitive, and here we go. Then it kicks up. So you know what? I'm going to take credit for that and say that I gave them the bulletin board material to get it done.
That's exactly right. Bulletin board material right there. Well, look, we can start looking ahead toward week 14. We have 7 matches. Every team is playing this weekend, and it's all on Saturday evening as well. Um, so, without further ado, we can get into the first match, which is going to be. Oh, you know what? Before we do this, we should talk about the new feature for our fans on social media. Um, So from now on, we are going to do a featured match of the week where we're going to do a very in-depth preview. We were just talking about this before we hit
Yep.
the live button tonight. So we'll look at the amount of matches that are going to be happening in the upcoming week. We'll divide those into polls that will be voted on social media, and we'll do it in like a bracket system where you got quarterfinals and then you got semis, you got the final poll, and whoever wins that poll, whichever match that is, we're gonna feature that one and lean heavily into that preview. So be on the lookout for those in future weeks to try to make sure that your team gets the in-depth coverage that you want.
Yeah. So I think this will give us an opportunity to kind of maybe focus in on some of the matches that you guys really want us to talk about and break down. And I feel like it'll be a little bit easier then for us to give you exactly the content that you guys are looking for. That being said, though, it's not gonna be a every single week this team gets the spotlight over and over and over. If we get multiple weeks where one team's getting the spotlight and it's probably not the best quote unquote best match of the week, that might not be the one that gets picked. So I would say go with obviously vote with whatever accounts that you do have. If you happen to have more than one account and want one to get featured more than the other, I'm not saying tip the vote, but you know, you can always have a few burners. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing wrong with that at all.
but yeah, we'll definitely make sure too that all of the teams get the love throughout the season. We don't want to make it so that we're only talking about a few select teams every single week. Now, if it just happens that those teams are playing big matches that week and those are the ones that get picked, obviously we're going to talk about it. And as we get later in the season, obviously when bigger matches are coming up, when it comes to playoff seeding, stuff like that, we'll obviously go more in depth into those kind of big name matches. But this way, I think everybody can tune in and have their favorite team kind of represented a little bit more as well.
Yep, I like it. So I will put together a graphic and then we'll shoot that out onto social media so you can see the bracket system and how it works. And then you can just keep an eye out for those polls and we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
All right. So, first match of week 14. Week 14, we're already there. It's crazy to think about. Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Oof.
This is going to be on ESPN Plus. We have Chattanooga hosting Portland Hearts of Pine. This one has some intrigue to it, especially with Chattanooga's recent run of form. Um, this one got sneaky good pretty fast.
Yeah. Who would have thought that in the first couple
Yeah,
weeks of the season?
yeah,
Not me.
certainly not me. These are 2 teams that only have 1 loss in their last 5 regular season matches, and with the amount of look at the stats and all that kind of stuff here, I have plenty of reasons why I think Chattanooga will win, and then we'll cover Portland shortly after that. But let's dive into the Chattanooga side.
Hmm.
Chattanooga has only played 4 matches, yet ranks above 4 teams who have played more home matches than them. Um,
That's
and even
crazy.
while playing at home, they haven't dropped any points from a winning position while playing at home either. In fact, they've gained 4 points from a losing position during their home matches. If you think back to their match against Naples, I think Naples opened the scoring in that match, and then Chattanooga had to battle it out the rest of the match to pull the off the win. I think it was a 3-1 win.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously they were both battling the elements that day, and so you have to think about that being a contributing factor in this week's match, whether the field is in good condition and all that kind of stuff, which Portland doesn't know when they're going down to the stadium. But Chattanooga, they've probably been training on it all week, and so they're very familiar with the pitch, and lends a bit of an advantage to them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Chattanooga also has what's that?
No, go ahead.
Chattanooga also has the third highest home goal differential in the league. I think they have a +3 goal differential at home. Let me check
Eh,
here.
Jeez,
Yeah,
okay.
they have a +3 goal differential. Um, and this is also a Chattanooga team that is the third hottest team in their last 5 regular season matches. Now, we're talking about the team here, but let's get a little bit more in depth here. If you look at particular players on Chattanooga's side, let's focus on Josh Ramos. He's one of the highest rated players in the league on FOTMOP.
Hmm.
And last season, he played for Tormenta and only had 6 starts. And in those 6 starts, if you combine all the minutes that he played, it was only one more minute than Tormenta's backup goalkeeper, if that tells you anything about how many minutes he played last season. So he had a lot of work to do in the offseason. Chattanooga saw something, they brought him in, and now he's flourishing because he already has more starts this season than he did in all of last season. Add on top of that, from last season, he was, even despite the minutes that he played, he was still a top 8 expected goals player on that Tormenta team. Um, and his recent run of form proves that. He has 2 assists in his last 3 matches. So great to have a player like that performing. I think he had really good performances against Naples. There was one against Tormenta, which we voted him player of the week for that performance.
Yep.
And then he also had a good, let's see, it was Tormenta, it was Naples, and it was Greenville, I think is what it was. But he's had some good run of form lately.
Hmm.
And if you look at reasons that Portland may not win, which goes into that supporting layer of why Chattanooga will win, Portland doesn't have a single road win yet this season. And they haven't kept a clean sheet since week 5 when they went on the road against Spokane in a 0-0 draw. Chattanooga's defense has been playing well as a unit. They have the top successful tackles per match in the league with 12. They have the top clearances per match in the league with 32 and a half. And all in doing so, they also have let's see, I would say the sixth highest, or I'm sorry, the sixth fewest fouls per match. Uh, and in that same category, Portland is currently ranked first with 17.4 fouls per match. So, those are all the reasons that I currently have as to why Chattanooga will win. But we can start talking about why Portland will win.
Yeah. So going into this, we have Portland coming in with not a loss in their last 5 matches across all competitions. So coming in hot like that, maybe stumbling a little bit out of the gate, not really knowing exactly what we were going to get with this Portland team. But I mean, you can't argue with no losses in the last 5 matches. Another big thing for them, they've scored 10 goals in their last 5 across all competitions. So Portland's offense is starting to pick up, and this is a time where teams really have to start moving in the direction they want to be. Otherwise, it's going to hinder their success this season. So, um, something that Portland definitely needed was a little bit more goal scoring because they also are a very stout defensive team. Uh, their goal differential right now is sitting on a 0, so that's better than the 4 teams ahead of them in the table. One, two, three, four. Yes, the 4 teams ahead of them in the table all have negative goal differentials. They've also only allowed 7 goals this season, which is tied for second place with that would be one Knox. So defense really coming through in a big moment as well and scoring goals right now, which is really going to help them move forward in this. I've been big on Portland for the past few weeks, and I know I've gotten a lot of flack for it, but I think we're finally starting to see what this Portland team is starting to put out there on the field. Like the pieces are there. I know this is a little bit contradictory to some of my takes before, but the eye test with Portland has been good. They've had chances, they've just not been able to convert a lot of those chances into whether it be goals or good runs of play. But you see the bones are there for them to move forward. And I have confidence in them. I think watching this team go in and play like they have been, especially recently, that does and should give you a lot of hope if you're a Portland fan um, going into this match. Now, that being said, 17.4 fouls per match is a lot of fouls. And they're going up against a team who anybody who has listened to the show for a long enough period of time knows we love to talk about how physical Chattanooga is. But it seems like Chattanooga's physicality this season has taken, I don't even want to say a step back because they're still a physical team. I think they're just smarter with the types of challenges that they're putting out and the quality of getting to the ball before the challenge is finished has improved. And I think that is something that only comes along with how they play these matches. But that being said, teams that can play the way that Chattanooga does and very physical tend to get frustrated pretty easily. So it may not be a bad thing that Portland is fouling almost, 17 times a match, a little over 17 times a match, because that can frustrate teams. And I think that is something that they're definitely going to use going into an environment, a hostile environment that is the Den down in Chattanooga. So this really sets up to be kind of a proving point match for both of these teams. I think we kind of know Chattanooga is a good team this year. I think anybody that's watched them can see that. Um, and like I said, with Portland, the bones are there, and now we're starting to see it. So I think this is really going to turn into one of those matches where you're going to see what these teams are made of and what we can expect from them for the rest of the season coming out of this match.
Yeah, and one of the things I use to support my argument for why Chattanooga would win, I can actually reverse that and go for Portland in the same method because while I spoke of the last 5 regular seasons for Chattanooga, I'm going to use the last 5 overall for Portland because in their last 5 overall, Portland is undefeated through those 5 matches, outscoring their opponents 6-4 and I'm sorry, 10-7. So they have a +3 goal differential, and um, I think this one's going to be decided by 1 goal. And the reason I say that is because Chattanooga has played 8 matches. 4 of those ended in a draw. So that means there were 4 other matches that were decided by goals. Of those 4, 3 of them were decided by 1 goal. Now, if we look at Portland, they've played 7 matches, 5 of which ended in a draw. That means 2 others were decided by goals. Those 2 were both decided by 1 goal. I think this is going to be a very close match. Not only looking at the statistics, but if you consider the way that these teams play and the elements that they're going to be battling there in the Den, this is going to be a match all about counterattacking, and it's also going to be about which team can establish a rhythm. Because as we've seen, looking at those stats, the ones that we mentioned earlier, they are very good. They're both very good at disrupting their opponent and not allowing them to get into a flow. We saw that with Chattanooga playing against Naples there in the stadium. Now it's their turn to do it against Portland in the Den. So this one's going to be very fun to watch. I think it's going to be very physical. Um, I think there's going to be a lot of fouls. It could get colorful, but I think even on the scoreboard, it's going to be very close.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a match where you see both of these teams playing to their full potential because I think they both see each other as a springboard opportunity. Both of them playing really well right now. Um, and if you're able to take some of that momentum off of another team that is playing well, that's going to set you up to move forward a lot better right now than it would any other time. Um, and then Russ coming in saying Chattanooga 2, Portland 0, Chattanooga being at home.
All
Solid.
right, putting it in.
I mean, it's really hard to argue against Chattanooga at home. Um, I mean, we've seen Chattanooga in the past at home not play as well. But that, as you said earlier, Rich, that is not the case with them right now. They are one of the best home teams in the league. Um, Alex coming in saying the pitch at the Den is an unfair advantage. Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm fairly confident the pitch should be okay at this point. Although Tuesday of this week, at least here in Omaha, the construction work field was a lot of us were sitting at home on Tuesday because of that weather that came through. So a lot of rain came through. I wonder if that broke up before it got down to Chattanooga or not. But um, I'm confident they'll probably get out there and try to take care of it. I don't think anybody in that organization really loved the publicity that they got from the last time that pitch was seen. So
Yeah.
um, that being said, though, the Den is a tough place to play, but I also think Portland is a very good team as well. I think Chattanooga is a very good team. I think this is going to be, for me, this is the match of the weekend. Uh,
Ooh.
as a casual fan to watch, obviously, my individual rooting interest says otherwise. But if I was a casual fan, this would be the one I'd be watching if I had to choose one.
Okay. Okay. My vote would go to a different match, but I will reveal that. Ooh, there's another one too. Oh, shoot. There's some good matches this week. Oh,
Very
dang
good
it.
matches this weekend.
Um, Dang it. Okay, so Russ says Chattanooga 2-0 over Portland.
Yep.
Are you ready for predictions?
Yeah, I think I'm fairly confident with mine.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Let's give you the first go ahead on this one if you're ready. If not, I
Okay.
can take this one. You can get the next one.
Yeah, I'll take this one. I think it's gonna be dang man. I'll go Chattanooga 2-1.
Chattanooga 2-1. A lot of faith in the Den.
Yeah.
Faith in the Den. I like it. So we've got two two people calling for a Chattanooga victory. I'm gonna be the one that goes against the grain here. I actually like Portland in the reverse of your prediction. Give me Portland in this one, 2-1. I like what they're doing. I think they're going to be able to frustrate Chattanooga, and right now they are scoring goals. So I do like them right now.
They are scoring goals. That 4-2 victory over Detroit FC, did not see that coming.
So happy. Oh, so happy.
And as we're going along with this, these predictions, if you are ready to throw your predictions out into the live chat, do it. You can always change it when we go to get our polls on social media. But if you are confident here and now, go ahead and throw it into the chat. Yeah, we got Alex throwing it in there too. See, I thought about doing 3-2. I like how he's going for the chaos.
I love it. Want to see some good matches this weekend. A
Yeah,
3-2 match is a good match to start the weekend with.
really is. All right, another Saturday night match starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 4 p.m. Pacific time. I always have to do the math like 7, 6, 5, 4, 4
Yeah.
p.m. Pacific time. This is going to be on ESPN Plus. We have Greenville hosting FC Naples. Some storylines here. So just in some random news here, going back to Portland at their recent home match, they had Arsenal player and UEFA Champions League winner Jenna Neiswanger at their home match. That was pretty dang cool. Like to
Yeah.
have a women's UEFA Champions League winner in the house, that would be so freaking sweet.
hmm
Yeah. I was trying to think of some names who could come to Omaha, but I mean, you'd basically be rating the Casey Current roster.
yeah.
Because they got like Chewinga down there. That would be really cool to see her. Anyways, okay, so we're looking at Greenville and some news out of Naples. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure you saw it on social media and all that kind of stuff if you didn't see the match live. But Kevin O'Connor from FC Naples had an Olympico against Miami FC, and that was ranked number 1 on SportsCenter. I can't remember. Is this the first time we've had a number 1 from League One?
I believe in number one. Yes, we League One has been on Sports Center a few times. But yeah, I think this is the first time it's taken the top spot.
That's awesome. Love to see it. And then 2 players from Naples got called up to the Puerto Rican national team. They have a match tomorrow evening against Suriname, and then St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Tuesday, June 10th. So you can check out those matches if you want to support those players. Rodolfo Sulia and Joel Serrano. So
Very
that should be
nice.
fun to watch. All right, so we're looking at Greenville and Naples. Now, Greenville has not had the most success at home that they would like. They're also on a run of form that they would like to turn around as well because in their last 5 regular season matches, they are winless with 2 draws and 3 losses with a -3 goal differential. If you throw in their last 5 overall, so throwing in some Jägermeister Cup, uh, they have 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses with a -1 goal differential. Because I think they beat Charleston Battery over the weekend.
hmm
Um, so they're writing, they have some confidence going their way after a victory like that. Because I mean, a victory over Battery is pretty dang good.
It's a good team.
Yeah. Um, But on the whole, Greenville is looking to try to turn things around a little bit. This is that win against Charleston was their first win since week 5 when they had Charlotte at home. So in between those 2 wins, there were 6 matches that they didn't have a single win. So now they're looking to turn that confidence into a repeat performance when they host Naples on Saturday evening.
Yeah. This one is this one's gonna be a good match. Traditionally speaking, Greenville, a defensive team, not so much the case this season. I mean, with Greenville sitting here on a -3 goal differential and eighth in the table at the moment, that's this is not a place that they're used to be used used to being in. Um, and flip the table, FC Naples sitting on 17 points and a 5 goal differential. This, this team's really kind of firing on cylinders again after dropping 3 of the last 4 matches losses and 3 of the last 4 league matches, and their last one being a win. Maybe kind of righting that ship a little bit. Um, I think this is an interesting match based on the fact that it is in Greenville. Um, and Alex coming in the live chat saying FC Naples is not a good road team. Um, very true. They do not play very well away from home, which is why I think this match maybe will be a little bit closer than a lot of people would predict. Um, it's difficult because the Greenville Triumph is one of those teams where I'm not gonna ever fully count them out because their track record has proven that you can't ever really count them completely out of anything. So, um, obviously, I think defense is going to be the biggest thing here. They're going to have to stop this FC Naples attack, which I don't know that there's a whole lot of teams in this league that are geared well enough to be able to do that on a consistent basis. But any given Saturday night, anybody can beat anybody. And I think moving into this one, FC Naples is really going to have to come out the gate swinging and kind of beat down this Greenville team because I think this team has a lot of heart in them. So any way that you can kind of take the wind out of the sails of this Greenville team early is going to be the way to go. And then I think the reverse is true for Greenville. If you can jump out on top of FC Naples and make them think, okay, on the road, we're down, here we go again, that's going to lead to a victory for Greenville. And I think if FC Naples jumps out and kind of shocks Greenville, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting them to come on the road and do this. That's also going to give them a giant leg up in this. And I don't know that either team is equipped to fight back from a body blow like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you look at their last 5 across regular season matches or overall. Naples has 2 wins and 3 losses. And your point about starting early and getting on the forefront of the pressure, totally support that, because when you look at Naples, when they are trailing at halftime, they've only trailed at halftime twice. And in both of those matches, they resulted in a loss. So Greenville has to start off pedal to the metal in those first 15 minutes, just go all out, establish the dominance from there, just get a goal super quick, super early, start to build that momentum yourself from there, gain that confidence, take it into halftime with the lead, and do the best you can to eat the clock in the second half. Um, at the same time, when we were talking about Naples not being as great of a road team, um, of the 5 goals that Greenville has scored in the first half, 3 of them came at home. For Naples, they've scored 8 goals in the first half. Only 2 came on the road. So that tells you right there that, like Alex was saying, like you were just saying, Naples is not as good on the road. So this is Greenville's chance to assert that dominance very early in the match, create that degree of separation, and just try to burn the clock as best you can. Um, that gets a little complicated in the second half because they've scored 6 goals in the second half, 4 of which were on the road. So you have to not only try to burn the clock, but you also have to try to manage the pressure that Naples is going to be thrown at you. We've seen Naples throw extra numbers forward when they go on offense, not only when they're playing behind, but also when they're playing ahead. They also don't mind throwing the hockey tactic out there and throwing the keeper into set pieces late in the match. So you have to watch out for that extra man coming in to those situations as well.
Yes,
So
finally, we have a team willing to do that. I've been
yeah,
saying that for so long, and now we finally have a team that's like cares about goal differential. I want to tie or win.
yeah, yeah, because it's what the third tiebreaker
Yeah, I
because it's
think
like
it's wins, and then would it be the second tiebreaker?
oh
Be
yeah, I guess it would be the
win,
third.
yeah, it'd be wins, then goal differential, then wins against. I think is the third one.
Yeah, something like that. Um, so yeah, don't even let the tiebreakers become a scenario. Just throw your keeper up, get into a murky situation in the box, and try to create a chance from it.
And man,
I
I'm
love
here
that.
for exciting. Like I want. I think this league is going to grow. I think it's going to grow anyway, but I think it's going to grow quicker if we have teams willing to kind of buck tradition and bring up the keeper in those situations, do something a little bit unexpected. Um, I think the way the league is set up tiebreakers has made it so that you can do that and it's going to be more exciting. So, um, it's kind of a tangent from the actual talk of the match, but it is something that I think moving forward, I think we're going to see a little bit more of. So maybe we'll see it on Saturday night. Who knows?
Yeah. So here's a stat for you. This is not a pretty stat. When Greenville concedes a goal or more, it has never resulted in a win.
Oof.
They have 2 wins this season, both resulted in a clean sheet. And Naples, um, yeah, when they concede uh, 2 or more goals, they've lost both of those matches. So for Greenville, get the early goal, score as quickly as you can, get the insurance goal, and just set the low block, absorb the pressure, and just keep clearing the ball away, eating up the clock as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game for them.
Yep. Well, are we ready for predictions?
Do it.
All right. Took the last one. I'll take it this time. Um, I think this is going to come down to the end of the match. I don't think this is going to be one of those where one team comes out firing and uh and just blows the other one away. I think it's going to be close all the way to the end. I'm not going to say a keeper is the one that heads it in for the win on this one, but I will say that I do think FC Naples, even though they're not a great road team, I think they go in and get the victory. I like Alex's goal differential in this one, but I do think Greenville scores a goal. So I like FC Naples in this one, 3-1.
Solid prediction. Hard to go against that, even though we're saying that Naples uh, is a not a great road team, but man, if I'm sitting here looking at this, let me look at one thing here really quick. And you had Naples. Oh
FC
man.
Naples 3-1.
And Naples doesn't have any more disciplinary issues.
Hmm.
I think all those players are back now. And it's on a turf.
I don't know if this changes your
So
prediction at all, but Russ is calling Greenville for the win in this one, 2-1.
yeah, I really wanted to go with Greenville. I was just trying to think of a score, but I don't know, man, because I gotta you and I have that scoreboard going, and I gotta make up some ground. So I feel like this is one where it should be obvious for me to pick Naples. It should be like that safe pick,
Hmm.
like that 1 versus 16 in March Madness. This should be like a gimme. But at the same time, like I just feel like Greenville could do it. And I do like that 2-1 Naples pick, or the Greenville over Naples pick too.
Not a bad one.
Um,
Worst you can do is get an exacto with Russ.
yeah, you know what? I believe in Russ. And Russ, I trust. I'm going with 2-1 Greenville over Naples. I got you, Russ. All right, another match. Saturday night, 7 p.m. kickoff, 4 p.m. kickoff on Pacific time. Also on ESPN Plus, we have Richmond hosting Texoma. As I was scrolling down, this is one of the ones that I was thinking, ooh, this could be really, really good.
Yep.
And yeah, I really like this matchup. And I know that we talked about it last week, um, but with Texoma's recent performance, they took down Union Omaha, 24 champion. They took down Greenville, the 2020 champion. Now they have the chance to take down Richmond, the 2022 regular season Supporter Shield winner. So, this could be good. The storylines are there. Texoma's recent performance, Richmond playing at home. I mean, come on, they're not. Do you really think they're going to lose at City Stadium? Um, I'm not asking for your prediction right here, right now, though. Richmond has played 6 matches at home, won once, drew twice, and lost 3 times. I don't think. Oh, I'm sorry, that was away. At home, Richmond has 5 matches, 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Texoma doesn't have a road win yet. So this could be another club first for them.
Yep.
Oh, man. Um, Texoma in their last 5 uh, has been outscoring their opponents 7-6 with 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Um, Even in the Jägermeister Cup, they did lose in the penalties, but they still took a championship team to full time with a draw. And Richmond, they're a little bit lower. They haven't in the last 5 regular season matches. They don't have a single win. Oh man, this one makes me nervous. I don't know, man. Looking at the stats here, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, going into this one, it's always going to be hard going into City Stadium. Um, I think any team that's gone in there would tell you that place gets rocking. Um, we have Alex in the chat saying I wouldn't put it past Richmond to lose this one, but he's going to call a 2-2 draw.
Me too.
Not a bad prediction at all. That would really be on brand. And actually, I completely agree with Alex on this one that this does kind of feel like one that Richmond would drop. Um, if we're going with the eye test, and this is all going to be recency bias. but I've been recency biasing Texoma the entire season, so why stop now? Right now, I think Texoma is playing better soccer than a lot of the teams ahead of them. Um, they've started to find themselves, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, like I did the first few weeks when I was crapping on them, and now I'm going to sound like a broken record sitting here praising them. But um, I think this team has found its heart. I think this team has found its it's more than just their scheme of how they want to play. I feel like they've found the ability to come out and play with confidence, which was severely lacking um, moving into this kind of run of form that they're on. Um, that being said, the Richmond Kickers are going to be tested, I think, in this one against this Texoma team. And when you have some younger guys on the Richmond Kickers team, that that can spell a little bit of trouble. It's going to help them definitely later on in their careers. But this one is going to be sneaky, sneaky good. I think these two teams stack up with each other really well. I think you have one team that's kind of flatlined a little bit and one team that's up on the rise. So this may be that point in the graph where they meet, and this might be another one of those matches where we kind of see the trajectory of each of these team seasons shift based on the end of this matchup. Um, going into it, I don't. This one does feel like the typical Richmond match once a year where they come into it with I would say a better team overall. Um, I think Richmond top to bottom is a more talented team than Texoma is, but they're also not playing the greatest soccer right now. So it's for me, it's a toss up, and I think it's really going to come down to one crucial moment in this match. And for me, it's really that one moment is going to be the thing that turns the tide. I think this is going to be a very, very close match.
Yeah, Richmond's played 11 matches this season. They have a single nil-nil draw among those results. So all the rest of the matches have had at least one goal for either side. Of those 10, Richmond scored first in 4 of them. And when they score first, they are undefeated. When they concede first, they have 1 win and 5 losses. Um, and another crucial stat here, when they are leading going into half, they are undefeated. When they are trailing going into half, they are winless. So, just like we were talking about with Greenville hosting Naples, Richmond has to start this one fast and furious, get on top of Texoma. Don't let them establish any sort of a rhythm. They like to build through the middle. So, with the system that Sawatsky plays, he has to load up the middle. Do not let them build. Do not let them build. The tendency for them is to want to dribble across the midline and then start to look for those access points once they start advancing toward the final third. You can't let them get any confidence. As soon as they receive the ball, get a body on them, touch them, let them know that if they get a ball, there's immediately going to be somebody pushing defense on them. Make them nervous when they get on the ball. Do not let them have any confidence. Um, so that's for Richmond. For Texoma, I think it's all going to be about taking Richmond to the full 90 minutes um, because Texoma has shown in recent weeks that they have the ability to play the full 90. Um, in those first few weeks, it sort of left us feeling like if you took the early lead, you had the win. But now they're going to fight you tooth and nail, even into extra time, to get that late goal for that result or the upset or whatever it is. So, oh man, I agree with you. I think Texoma is playing really well as of late. Man, I hate to give Richmond the loss at home at City Stadium. Um, but this could be another first for Texoma. Russ coming in saying, sorry, Texoma, Richmond 2-0. Terzaghi scores. Okay. All right. Let me throw that into the outline here.
Solid. I got it up there.
Okay, good.
And Geo coming in saying, just a note for this weekend, we, meaning Greenville, are playing this game on Saturday at Clemson on grass.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Okay. That's cool. Thanks,
Uh,
Geo, for the note.
I don't think it doesn't change my prediction, but that is seeing teams on natural grass is a good thing. I like to see it.
Love it. Yeah.
And Alex coming in saying, assuming Terzaghi is healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit or miss with that guy, man. I mean, we got to remember he's been in the league for a while. He's been playing for a while. Um, that's a well, that is a hard assumption from week to week. I'm not even sure some of the training staff know whether or not he's healthy on a regular basis.
Yeah. Could be right there. You ready for predictions?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
I think I took first on the last one.
Shit. It is my turn. Damn it. Okay. All right. I am going to go with I'm going to go 2-1 Texoma. Sorry, Richmond.
Damn it. Now I know
Is
how it
that yours?
feels. Now I know how it feels. It's the shoe is on the other foot. Um, yeah, I do like Texoma. That recency bias is gonna really kick in for me. I think they're playing at their I'm not gonna say their peak or their best right now. But I think they are playing really well. Um, I think Richmond has these points in the season where they go on these weird not playing well, kind of disjointed runs, and then they usually pick it back up um, and start playing better again after whether or not it continues again or they have another drop off that remains to be seen. But they will go on these separate runs of form. Um, and I think they're hitting a team that's hot right now. I think Richmond cooling off like they have been. I also like Texoma in this one. I think Texoma comes out of this one. Ooh, give me 2-0. I like Texoma 2-0. I was going between 1 and 2.
All right. All right. Now we come up to another one of the matches where if I were to vote match of the week, I would say this one. Saturday night, another 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff.
Yeah, we can't get
4 p.m.
decision day matches on the same time, but we can get a random week 14 matchup with the majority of matches at the same time. Come
Exactly.
on, League One office.
Um, and then this is going to be on ESPN Plus. All right. Cool news. Recently for One Knox, they sold 4,000 tickets for Knoxville's biggest happy hour match on June 13th. So it's not this match, but it's an upcoming match. And I also love the distinction that One Knox had here, saying that 4,000 tickets had been sold, not 4,000 tickets had been given away, or they're 4,000 fans are expected to be at this match. They have been sold. I
Mhm.
like that.
It's an important distinction.
Yeah, their sales team is working hard.
Yeah.
All right, Westchester hosting One Knox. I really, really like this one. One Knox is not in the best of form right now,
No,
but at the same time, you have this Jekyll and Hyde Westchester team. Um, you do not know what you are going to get from Westchester. If you look at the stats and you look at their performances, it is so erratic. So to throw them into a match against One Knox, because Westchester has the ability to score a lot of goals, One Knox has the ability to hold their opponents to very few goals. These are two teams that can play very, very physical in a clean way.
yep,
Um, so it's one of those matches where on the surface it doesn't look like it's that enticing, but if you start looking at some of the things under the surface, it builds a better storyline and it makes it more exciting. And it throws in so many unknowns that this match, I don't know what to expect from this one. I really don't.
no, this one's gonna be tough. Alex coming in the chat. League One updater, by the way, guys, is Alex. So make sure you go and check him out. But he's calling a 0-0 snooze fest in
It
this
could
one.
be.
It
It
very
could
well
be.
could be. I think if there's any match this weekend that it could end up with a 0-0 draw, this is definitely the one. Um, so I think we have two teams here that are completely on opposite ends of the philosophy spectrum. Um, you have one Knox who's going to play sound defense, who's not gonna blow you away with goals, not gonna come out here and try to be getting that tiebreaker of points or of goal differential in this one or in any match. They just want to come in, workman like 1-0, 1-0 win, get out of town, done. Um, Flip the script, you have Westchester who has scored 14 goals and has given up 17 goals. So a lot of offensive firepower on this Westchester team, not a whole lot of defensive power here. But when you're playing a team that has only scored 9 goals this season, um, that that'll work. If you can somehow hold on and not allow a whole lot of goals through, you're going to be able to score goals. I think Westchester, even though they are playing a Knoxville team that is very sound, um, defensively, this Westchester attack is very cunning. They can find different ways to beat you. They're not tied to just one way of scoring the ball. Um, and I think that's going to frustrate Knoxville a little bit. I think somebody is eventually going to get caught napping in this one. Honestly, for both sides, I think this one for me is going to be this one's going to be a little bit higher, a little bit higher than a snooze fest, like Alex thinks. I think we will see a few goals in this one, though. I don't think this is going to be a 0-0 snooze fest.
Here's a stat no one has ever said, at least as far as I know, on the league website or anything like that. Westchester has played 8 matches. They have scored first in 5 of those matches. Of those, in those 5 matches where they have scored first, they have won 0 matches.
Oh, oh, oh,
They're the only team to have scored first. Every other team in the league has scored first at one point or another. Westchester is the only team to score first, yet to not have a win as a result. So there's
man,
your stat of the evening.
man.
Oh, the more I look at this, the more it's becoming clearer.
So
Um,
we've got Russ coming in saying Westchester for the win, 1-0 with Obregon
ooh,
scoring.
that's not a bad pick at all.
If somebody's going to score, it's probably going to be him.
Yeah, he's been hot lately. Um, so Westchester is at home in this one, correct? Yeah, they're
Westchester
at
at
home.
home, yes.
Okay, so oh, here's another really hurting stat. Okay, Westchester has scored 5 goals in the second half. 0 have come at home.
Oh, oh man. Um, yeah, those are pretty damning stats.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I think I
It's
know my pick.
yeah,
I know what you
yeah,
are.
I think I'm good with my pick. It doesn't make me feel great after hearing all of that, but um listen, we know what we're gonna get out of Knoxville. Sound defense. Like I said earlier, I think Westchester has an ability to score goals, and I think they're gonna be able to score a few goals on Knoxville in this one. Knoxville, not traditionally a goal scoring team. They have improved, or did improve at the beginning of this season, but have kind of hit a plateau as well. So we're not seeing a whole lot of offensive production, but we're still seeing that great defense. That being said, I just thinking of how crazy I want this score line to be. I do think Knoxville comes into town and gets it done. I think Westchester does score first, adding to their misery. I think they score first and lose. And I think Knoxville takes this one 2-1.
Ooh, okay, that saves my pick because I was gonna say one knocks 2-0. So that works. I'll take it. All right, Alex had
I got
nil
it.
nil. Okay, cool. All right, next matchup. So we go from a potential, like Alex said, a nil-nil snooze fest to a match between Tormenta and Charlotte, which could potentially have a ton of goals. If there's a barn burner alert, I'm putting it on Tormenta versus Charlotte.
Mhm.
So this is a Saturday night match, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Also on ESPN Plus. Oh man. Okay, let's get into this one because this one could be fun. Charlotte had been super like red hot. They beat Lexington in the Jaeger Cup after a 2-2 draw at full time. They went on to PKs to beat them 4-2. In the last regular season match, they lost at Avialta on the road 2-1. Tormenta, as we look at them in the current standings, have lost their last 3 matches across all competitions. Their last one, two, three, yeah, last 3 regular season matches as well. But as we've seen from both of these teams, they have the ability to score a lot of goals. Tormenta, when they play at home, they've had actually just in total, they've had 6 first half goals. All 6 of those goals came at home. Um, so that could be something that could, you know, set off the alarms early for Charlotte. Charlotte, however, you have to consider this. We said this last week. Charlotte is the only team in the league with a double-digit goal tally in the second half. And on the road, they have 6 goals. The closest to them is Westchester with 5 on the road. And Charlotte has 6, both at home and away in the second half. So they have 3 times as many goals in the second half as they do in the first half. So this is it. So Tormenta starts hot early, and Charlotte finishes hot. This can get fun.
Yeah, this could definitely get good. Coming into this, if you look at the the stats for these teams, it's weird how there's kind of a poetic symmetry here. You have South Georgia sitting in 12th place in the table right now, Charlotte sitting in third. Charlotte right now has scored 16 goals while letting in 12 for a goal differential of 4. You flip the script down to number 12 with Tormenta. They have scored 12 goals while allowing 16 goals with a -4 differential for the season. Um, and just kind of that, just looking at the table kind of stood out to me a little bit. And I think is going to be the telling thing for this match. I think South Georgia Tormenta's offense is potent. I think they are one of these teams that you can watch and they are able to score at any time from any place, which for a team sitting 12th in the table is a rare commodity to have. Um, right now, I think the only team sitting out of a playoff position with a higher goal differential is Westchester, but also a higher goals allowed. So um, I think South Georgia is going to be able to score in this one. Charlotte is not a team that has ever really emphasized a very strong defensive unit. They've played that possession type of game and build up type of game and score goals type of game. I don't foresee that changing in this one. I think Charlotte's going to come out and really try to test this tormented defense, which has given up a ton of goals early, and I think they're going to do it often. I think you're probably going to see a little bit more of a condensed um, field of play for Charlotte in this one. I think they do so well at playing wide balls and moving on their wide pitch. I think going down to South Georgia, I think they're going to have to compress it a little bit. I think they're going to be successful in doing so in this one. But watch out for South Georgia in this one on those counterattacks. I think moving forward in this, the way Tormenta is going to win this match, if they were to win, if I was calling that, they would have to win on the counters. I think Charlotte is susceptible to the counters. I think Charlotte tends to overextend trying to get those goals. Um, and I think Tormenta can really use some of the speed that they have on that team and some the finishing ability that they have on that team to really bite Charlotte with overextending themselves.
Yeah, this is one where, man, these two went 4 straight with 1-1 draws, both in Jägermeister and regular season, in 24 and 23. But I feel like this is going to be one of those matches where there's going to be a lot of goals. I
Hmm.
just do. I really, really do. And I think Alex brings up a perfect point here. He threw in his prediction early here. He said 2-1 Tormenta. Charlotte needs another week to adjust to some roster moves. And yes, he is referring to Alfredo Medense. Um, and I got a good laugh when we recorded that last week because man, it's just such dark humor that
Hmm.
he's having such an amazing season with Charlotte, and then Lexington just, oh nope, you're doing great there. Okay, come back.
Yep.
Yeah, we're last place, or what you said they were last in the East,
Last in
but
the
they were
East,
like
but
third
they
or
were
fourth on the bottom.
third. Yep.
Yeah. So still, just let him finish out the season with Charlotte. Come on.
Oh no,
Um,
they got to turn their season around. Charlotte's sitting pretty right now. They had to pull
I
their guy
know.
back. It's that double-edged sword of loaning guys out because you want them to do well when you bring them in, but you don't want them to do too well that they get brought back, which is exactly what happened.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, in Charlotte's, I mean, we mentioned that they lost to AV Alta, but they beat Lexington. Oh, that's a storyline I didn't even think about. So Lexington recalls Medense, and then Charlotte beats Lexington. Oh my gosh, revenge. I love that. It didn't even click until right now. That's okay. That's cool. Man, okay. This one's gonna be fun. I think Tormenta scores first in this one, and then I think Charlotte has to battle their way back. Um, Russ coming in saying,
Eh,
hard one here to predict for me. Tormenta for the win, 3-0.
Russ, that did not seem that difficult for you calling for a 3-0 win.
So here's another storyline too, because Tormenta, when they hosted Chattanooga, we mentioned Josh Ramos earlier in the show. He had a great performance against his former club, Tormenta, last time they played. Now, with Charlotte coming to town, yes, you have the option of having Matt Levy in goal for Charlotte, but their backup is Drew Romig, who was backup for Tormenta. So, do you risk throwing a former Tormenta player against his former club at their former or at their home pitch um, for that chance at redemption? Or do you stick with Matt Levy, who has proven himself to be a starting goalkeeper for that club, with Austin Pack going, oh, no way. Okay. Why didn't I think of this earlier too? In the offseason, Austin Pack left Charlotte for Tormenta. So you have Charlotte's former like goalkeeper of the year candidate nominee playing for Tormenta, and then you have his backup playing for Charlotte as their starter. Their the storylines here are ridiculous. Come
Yeah, they're
on.
coming.
This is too good. Come on. Okay. With that said, I am still going to go. Man, you know what? Oh, I'm still. Oh, dang it. Do I want to? I'm going to go Charlotte. Is it my turn? Or
It is.
did I
Yep.
skip you?
It's
Okay,
yours.
good. Okay. I didn't want to jump you. Okay. Uh, I'm going to go.
It's fine because you can't predict the next one. So,
That's true. That's true. I'm going to go. Oh, shit. We're right on 90 minutes, too. Shit.
yeah, I was
Um,
wondering how we ended up doing that, but I was going to save
yeah.
that until after.
All right. So I'm going to go Charlotte 3-2 over Tormenta. Barn
not,
burner.
not a bad pick. I think both these teams are going to score a lot of goals. I like the barn burner thought. Um, I'm actually going to go the reverse. I think Tormenta beat Charlotte 3-2. So I like both of these teams' ability to score. I think Charlotte is gonna be able to come out and adjust a lot quicker than I think a lot of people are expecting them to. Um, just based on the fact that they've always been an offensive minded team. I think that's going to continue. They will have to find new options, but I think moving forward, I think they're going to be just fine.
All right. All right. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. This would be a 5 p.m. Pacific Time kickoff. You can help me remember on this one. This one's going to be on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Is that the first time that a League One match has been on national TV?
No, we've had matches on on the Golazo network before.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And Golazo's
I didn't.
that if you guys don't have I think Golazo network is if you have a
Mhm.
Roku TV,
Roku,
you
yeah.
get it for free. Um and I think yeah, it's on Paramount, but I'm fairly certain you don't have to pay for Golazo. I think it I think it's one of those free channels for CBS. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that remembers, but um if you don't, I'm sure you can do if you want to watch this match, I'm sure you can regular internet, regular Google Chrome tab the first half and then incognito mode the second half, or do whatever you need to do to watch the rest of it. Um, I don't particularly think this is going to be that entertaining of a match personally, but if you were so inclined to watch it, that could be a way you could watch it if it has a paywall, which I'm not sure if it does.
Yeah, here's how entertaining it's going to be. If you take the last 5 regular season matches combined between these two teams, you will not find a single win amongst them.
Yes.
I'm laughing through the pain. All right. Madison, although they have 0 wins, they have 5 draws in that time period. With a goal differential of 0, with 4 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. Union Omaha, on the other hand, has 2 draws, 3 losses, 4 goals scored, 8 conceded. So a -4 goal differential.
Really, yeah. I think just because we're all right up on the right up on our time. Um, I think this is going to decide between these two teams who's going to go on a run and potentially move into playoff positioning by the end of the season. Um, it's a derby match. Um, Two fan bases that have traditionally been at each other's throats quite a bit. Um, Run of forms, Omaha not looking great at all. Forward Madison draws, so looking mediocre all across the entire length of them. I it's going to be a snooze fest of a match. I do. Guess I'll just go right into predictions on it. Russ saying he wants Union Omaha 2-0, but in reality 0-0. We don't pick draws on the show, so as much as I would pick probably a 0-0 draw in this one, I do think Madison is the better team right now. So I think Madison gets it done 1-0.
1-0. So we mentioned a scary stat earlier for Westchester. Let's do one for these two teams. Union Omaha is the only team in the league to have never led at halftime so far this season. On the flip side, Madison has only led at halftime on 1 occasion. They did win that match, so there's a plus side there, but neither of these teams seem to want to get it done in the first 45. So we'll see.
And Alex coming in saying 2-1 Madison. Even with Omaha
Oh,
scoring woes, he
yep.
has faith.
All right. Last match, Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. You can see me doing the math there in my head. ESPN Plus, we have AV Alta, a team that's very hot at home, versus Spokane, who is very hot in general. Some quick news from Spokane. Siobhan John Brown was called up for the Grenada national team. They beat Bahamas 6-0 last night
Oh,
at their home stadium. So exciting news for Siobhan John Brown. Hopefully, he can bring some of that heat back to Spokane after he's done with his international duty. All right, AV Alta. Very, very good at home. One of the top performing teams at home. In 5 matches, they have 10 points, averaging 2 points a game, with 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, outscoring their opponents 8-5 overall, with 2 clean sheets along the way. They have gained 6 points from a losing position and have given up zero. Um, they have dropped 0 points from a winning position. So, as we said, AV Alta is very good at home. They are going up against a Spokane team, currently top of the table with 9 matches played, 20 points. Even though they have a game in hand to second place Naples, they still have 3 points on them too. Um, and they have a goal. They are the only team in the league with a double-digit goal differential at the moment, with a +11.
Yeah, I think these two teams, it's really tough for me to find any real weakness in the Spokane Velocity team this season. They obviously sitting top of the table with a game in hand, up 3 points on FC Naples, who early on looked like the front runner for the season. Um, it's for me, it's so hard to bet against this team. Watching them play, they don't seem to really have much of a weakness right now. Um, also call it a little bit of recency bias, but uh, by far the best clinical looking team so far this season. They come in, they get jobs done, they get out of town. I don't really expect this to be much different in this match at all. I know AV Alta, terrific team at home. I just think there's too much firepower top to bottom with the Spokane team.
Yeah, Spokane has 3 road matches on the season, 9 points, so they are perfect, undefeated. They have 3 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses, outscoring their opponents 7-1 on the road. They have a +6 goal differential. The closest goal differential on the road in the league for them is going to be One Knox with +2. So that tells you
That's
how dominant they are on the road as well.
yeah, and one knocks don't score a whole lot.
And here's another scary stat for you. When Spokane plays on the road, they have gained 0 points from losing position because they're already in a winning position. They have dropped 0 points from a winning position. They're undefeated. So this is a scary good team. In the last 5 regular season matches, they are undefeated, 5 straight wins. If you include overall matches across all competitions, we're looking at the Jägermeister Cup. They had a 1-0 loss to Monterey Bay very recently. So that would be their only loss in recent memory.
Yeah.
This is a very dominant team.
Mm,
Undefeated when they score 4 goals, undistorted when they score 3 goals, undefeated when they score 2 goals. When they score 1 goal, they only have 1 loss. So yeah, we're rattling off all these statistics to show you how great Spokane is right now.
yep.
So yeah, not to kill any more time, but let's go straight into predictions. Oops.
Since you couldn't do the last one, you want to take this one?
I will go on the road. I'll go Spokane 3-1.
Very similar to what I think.
Ooh.
But I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't see right now. I don't see anybody beating Spokane. I don't right now. I don't see AV Alta coming close to beating Spokane. Spokane Road Warriors, AV Alta Home Warriors, but I think Spokane is just a better team than the rest of the league right now. So I think Spokane comes into AV Alta, gets it done 3-0.
Cool. I like it. All right, let me check social media really quick to see if we have any questions. Oops. Nothing there. Just Russ Sango USL 1. Love it.
Heck yeah.
Um, nope, looks like we are good to go. So that's it. Oh, Alex Ashton just posted in Blue Sky. Over 4,000 people went to the Richmond Ivy match on a Thursday night for a non-league tournament match.
All right.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I have a Richmond Ivy shirt. I think it's in the other room, but yeah, I have a Richmond Ivy shirt. That's cool.
All at one.
All right. Well, with that said, thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of League One on the Rocks. We have thrown a lot of stats at you, some surprising ones, some depressing ones, hopefully some enlightening ones to help you get through the weekend. We will be posting those polls on Saturday morning to let you all work on that scoreboard we love and hold so dearly. So go ahead and be active in those polls. Make sure that you put your score predictions out there as well. We took notes of some of the score predictions as we went along with tonight's episode, but make sure that you have your voice heard as we go throughout the weekend. And we will be back next weekend with another episode breaking down all the recent action in League One. Thanks, everybody.
All right.